What's up, Mr. Davis?
Oh man, just hanging out. I appreciate you guys coming out, and it's
Yeah.
always good to have some new faces around and kind of check out what we're doing around here.
Yeah, man. We flew in last night and come out here to Houston, man. Or it's in Cyprus, right?
Right, this one
Yeah,
is Cyprus.
it's Cyprus. Yeah, man. So the thing of the is that I wanted to kind of come and talk to you and see because I know you making all these different deals in the bull industry and you winning. I just seen when you was in was it White Oak?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
that's right. Yeah, you was a
by
White
Bonita.
Oak. Yeah. So Dennis, how long you been doing the bulls, man?
Probably full time. I started in 2012. I was with the James Gang through 2018, and just every year we'd create 300, 350 bulls,
Yeah.
and we'd go through all those bulls and put them in a training program. 2018, James Gang Exclusive Genetics decided to close the doors. In 2019, at the beginning, I decided to start on my own and
Yeah.
created Dennis Davis Bucking Bulls.
Yeah, and you've been pressing the gas this whole time.
Oh man, yeah, I've been
Yeah.
going 48 weekends out of the year.
Yeah, you got that clientele, huh?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See,
And it's-
that's the thing. You gotta have that clientele because there's a lot of guys that'll come into the business and they say, you know what, I'm gonna give me a trailer, I'm gonna give me a truck, and I'm gonna give me some pens, and I'm gonna start housing people's bulls, and they don't
Yeah.
have a clue of what it takes to
and
raise
it's
an
and it's impossible to do without the clientele. But then again, if I couldn't do this full time, I don't think I could be effective enough to operate this way because when you're dealing with the bulls, it's not a part time job. I mean,
Right.
if you want to get the fullest potential out of the bucking bulls, it's kind of a round the clock deal.
Yeah,
with them.
it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday when I'm sick, when I don't feel good, when it's
Absolutely.
snow, when it's raining.
That's
They
right.
you gotta feed them.
Around the clock. I don't clock in or clock out. I'm just there.
Yeah. Hey, early when we was talking, you was talking about your Bucking Bull Academy. Explain that to us.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, just like in any business, or I consider myself to be a businessman. If you see something kind of lacking in your business, or if you want to increase something, or just kind of come up with an idea, I come up with what I call a Bull Academy.
Okay.
And what Bull Academy is very similar to like if you had a rope horse that you wanted to send to a trainer or to
Okay.
a roper for
Right.
30 or 60 days.
Okay.
And sure enough, we've been, pretty effective so far. People have come to me with some of the bulls that are on the PBR Velocity tour that are, really bad in the chute and, turning over, alligating on the bottom.
Yeah.
And then what I basically do is just, bring these bulls in and myself and some of the riders you see out there, we just kind of get on them and mess with them every day and just kind of get them acclimated to being and going through the rhythm of the buck and shoot. I mean, at the end of the day, they're all, methodical type animals. So if you just kind of get them in a routine,
Right.
they'll get used to it. And then I believe with those bulls, it's not that we have a special talent. It's just that we have the time to implement the routine, into them.
Right,
So
right.
It's been pretty effective so far. I've had maybe about close to 20 bulls
Really?
to come
Yeah,
through the
yeah.
academy, already.
yeah.
And even some bulls that were so good in the academy that people decided to just keep them with me and I just haul them down the road.
Awesome. Because that's the thing. If that animal and back to my first point where a guy goes in and he thinks he's gonna I'm gonna be a trainer. It takes time. It takes patience. And if a guy doesn't have that and at the level with the PBR,
Right.
Cody's gonna tell you, hey, you're wasting TV time.
Right.
We can't get out on him, and then you don't get
Right.
to come back.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a shoot etiquette, and not only just for for Cody purposes, for these are competition bulls. We're
Yeah.
paying entry fees.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you can't get out on your bull, or if your bull's just kind of erratic, and the rider decides that he doesn't want him, you basically lose your your entry fees.
Right.
So you kind of want to be in tune with that bull.
All right.
Once he makes it.
So let's just go and get into it because I'm just asking, what's up with the riders, man? I've heard people, I've heard a guy, I want to say Ronnie Kitchen said one time, a kid told him, man, I only have so many great rides. And to me, this is the first time being out here at your place to really see these kids. I mean, y'all loaded up 20 plus bulls
Yeah.
and y'all went through everyone. I was like, there ain't but 2 guys, 3 guys here,
Yeah.
and that's what that's just was great to see that because I was thinking, they were like, how many bulls we going? I was like, no, I want to do a few because these guys are here. Because in Sulphur Springs, you got one guy, the guy comes out, he wants to get on 1,
Right.
2, and then my aunt, you know what I mean? They just don't have that craving, and these guys down here, are Houston area. I know Gary Richards come from down here.
Right.
You know, Leg Stevens. You know,
Yeah.
back in my time. You know, and they just. What do you think a bull rider has to have to make it on the PBR tour versus, you know, he just going to the little podunk rodeos and just kind of doing it for his girlfriend? You know, what does it take for that bull rider to meet that, get that to that top level?
Yeah. Well, the thing that separates champions from non-champions is just basically that word slipped out. But the thing that separates champions from non-champions is passion.
Yeah.
You know, and if you find a guy that has the passion for bucking bulls,
Yeah.
and if he has a passion for bucking bulls, he has an overall passion from the lowest level all the way to the top.
Right.
And like you say, I develop, you know, a relationship with these guys. You see how we just kick it out there like we're all just one big family, give
Yeah.
each other a hard time.
Yeah.
Well, if you make those guys feel comfortable and you just continue to kind of, you know, boost them up a little bit and boost their confidence, you know, they come around and even start to really ride good. And I think that's sort of kind of missing in our industry because we have a group of higher echelon champions that are out there on the road, you know, and they don't necessarily or may not have time, you know, for these guys who are still at home. And I take myself, for example, you know, when I was younger coming up riding a bull, I've never experienced championship caliber bulls and championship caliber riders. And once you experience those guys on those level, and then a guy like that will take you under his wing,
Yeah.
then you start to get that drive and get
Right,
that
you
passion,
get that hunger. Yeah,
and then
it
you,
starts
and you
burning,
feel it,
yeah.
and then you get to holding on a little tighter. You
Yeah.
get to driving a little
Yeah.
farther away from
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're up there with
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Because when you know, like LeFew always says, winners, you know, winners run with winners, man.
Right.
And when you fall off and everybody's got a check and you the one driving, because I know when I used to rodeo, yeah, if you didn't ride, you drove.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, man, I'm tired of driving. I'm really, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And having that passion, that's definitely something that, you know, the guys got to have in this industry, and seeing that your passion has built your customer base up. Far as, I mean, I was like, Dennis, I remember when you cracked out, and you know, the customer base was just
Yeah. And I
One
was
after
fortunate
another.
enough to be able to hit the ground running because you know people who invest or people who are passionate about something, they recognize the passion in someone else.
Yeah.
You know, so if I'm going to invest in you or if I'm going to hang with you,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to need to be as passionate as I am, or
Yeah.
you're going to hold me back.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, so they had the utmost confidence that Dennis Davis is going to give 110%
Yeah.
every time, win or lose.
Yeah. So Dennis, like when your customers, they when they come out and the bull doesn't do what, you know, we plan, because I know we plan all week long and we plan all month long and we're talking about it, and then it doesn't happen, and the customer, because like I told my wife, I said, hey, in the bull business, I'm not gonna say I've done drugs, but I'm saying I've never done a drug that was like the bull business, because
Right.
it's the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this. So, what do you tell your customers when it don't work out the way y'all planned it?
Well, it actually started from when I introduce, you know, that customer to the bucking bull business.
Okay.
You know, I tell them first and foremost, hey, invest in your fun,
Right.
in having fun, your excitement, and your enjoyment. I say because it's really hard to expect a return, which I do have, you know, customers who when they put up an entry fee, they expect a return, like, you know, we
Right.
should and
Right.
we should expect. You know, but for the most part, they understand that, hey, I'm having fun.
Right.
And a lot of my customers are just passionate about the bucking bull business.
Yeah,
They love they're PBR people who see me on social media
Yeah.
and say, hey, man, what do I need to do to own a bucking bull?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and we just kind of go from there.
Yeah.
But back to the initial question, when they're losing, of course, there's always, you know, some disappointment, but sometimes it just feels so good. Sometimes there's like, man, well, he did better than he did the last time. That was good. Let's
Right,
keep
right.
working with him and see if we
Right,
can do better the
right.
next time, because that's the key.
That's
you know,
it.
means you understand, because there's only one champion. There's only room for one place.
That's right.
I mean, you may go to a bull ride and there's 80 bulls entered. There's only room for one. I mean,
it.
so do the math.
That's right. That's right.
You know, so
That's right.
it's you know, and a lot of those customers they understand that, and they're investing in their fun and in their passion.
That's right. Cool deal, man. Cool deal. Because it's nothing cooler when, like, I know you're at the PBR level and you sit down and you're pulling the flank behind the champ Vitor Leme. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or the Golden Boy, Lockwood. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you're like, and that is a cool aspect of the bull business that I know that a lot of people they love that part of it. You
Right.
know what I mean? But going back to like the customer base, how do the guys come to you and say, you know, I got X amount of dollars, I want to go to buy this bull, or you know what, I've got this bull, how about me and you partner on a bull? How does that work?
Well,
Explain it to me.
it's a little bit of all. I mean, that just what you've said there. You know, we've had people to come and say, "Hey, I've got this." You know, a guy from Canada, for example, say, "I've got these 3 bulls that I've just been kind of holding on to, and I've been, you know, seeing a lot of your content on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can we work with them?" And which worked out pretty good because the little mott face, the black mott face,
Yeah.
was this guy's from Canada, which I'm taking, you know, to a bull team, so that works out. But for the most part, I've got to push myself from a marketing standpoint, and you'll see a lot of social media, you know, content, because no one's ever come to my door knocking on the door looking for a bucking bull.
Okay.
And so what that does, that just drives these people with passion towards somebody like myself
Right.
who want to own a bucking bull. So when they contact me, I just kind of try to figure out, you know, what is it about the bucking bull business that they like? Because, you know, there's the yearling, there's the futurity, there's the derby, you know, and then you've got your classic and you've got your bull teams,
Right.
and everyone likes something different. So whenever someone comes and says, "Hey, I just want to just start off new, I want a bull that I can actually raise." So we start off as a yearling, and then I go out and just kind of look at some yearlings, send them some videos, and send them some prices.
Right.
And if it's in their budget or within their means, then we just kind of hit the ground running with it.
Right. So when you going back to that part where you talk marketing, I don't know, how did you, Dennis Davis, market Dana White, UFC president, bad cat? You know what I mean? The bat took something from the mud and made it the biggest
Right.
company ever. How did y'all come together on that?
Well, that was a sort of I believe in coincidences, but then again, I believe that you know, the good Lord just kind of puts people, you know, in each other's paths. And if you remember the UFC and Dana White, they had this show where they would go to different towns and they're recruiting you know, prospective, you know, fighters.
Yeah. What was it? What was it called? Was it Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah,
or?
it was like the Ultimate
yeah,
Fighter.
okay, yeah.
And so whatever state he would go to or whatever town he would go to, he would go and develop a theme, sort of a reality show for the theme. So quite natural, when you come to Texas, what do you come up with? Rodeo.
That's right.
You know, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you come
yeah.
up with rodeo and bull riding, and they simply, Google bull riding and found us. So at the time where I was with James Gang and Exclusive Genetics, so they came out to the to the ranch, watched us buck a few bulls. They even had a couple of guys, and Dana himself actually got on the bull.
Wow.
But then when it was all over, he was like, "By the way, what do y'all do?"
Yeah.
And then after we got to talking about what we did,
Yeah.
he was like, I want to buy a bull.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it started.
Wow.
And so every year he's bought a bull. And when I started, Dennis Davis bucking bulls, he was like, heck yeah, man, let's keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. He seems like, never met that guy, but he seems like a real genuine guy, really a down-to-earth guy, and will tell you how to eat the cabbage. You know what I mean?
He definitely is. And that's one thing I admire about, I guess, the relationship that I have with him. It's nothing for him to, he texts and calls on the regular. We talk, once, every, week or every other, week. But I think the coolest thing, he called me right before he was to step on the stage for the Republican National Convention.
Wow.
And just for no reason, just to see what was going on. Hey, this is what I'm getting ready to do.
Wow.
And he come down here this year for UFC, and we shot some reality, things with his bull, his current bull called F-Bomb. And he's passionate about it. He'll send a text out of the blue and say, hey, how's my boy doing?
Yeah.
And we send videos and just kind of exchange text about that. But
Yeah. And and that's just crazy. That is so good for the bull business, man. I mean, me in the bull business for 20 plus years, and a lot of people might have said, why are you getting out? Is it, a lot of people want to make it a bad thing. Like,
Right.
my deal is, hey, Jordan had to retire. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just lost the fire to get in that truck
Right.
and go down that road, and other things happen in your life with that happened that made me do that business deals. But man, I don't think that I'll ever get out of it. Brandon, he sent me Brandon, he Stewart, he's having a bull sale, and he sent me a video of this ball faced Brindle, and I said, man, you know I'm a sucker for ball faced Brindle. I'm an
That's
old
right.
school dude.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
old school, man, where that's
Right.
all we had, and getting in it, I don't think I'll ever get out of it, and because you crave it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to be able to have, I understand, just like would be a customer of yours, you have that passion, and we're rooting on. It's a team, you
Right.
know. When, like I told some buddies of mine, I don't need any friends when the sun's shining.
That's right.
I don't need no friends when the bells is whistling. I need that friend when the storm is at my door
Right.
and things didn't go right for us. I need that. Hey, we gonna make it. We gonna move forward. We're gonna go in a positive way. You know what I mean? We're not gonna, those are the cats that I don't need. But my thing is coming down here to Houston and meeting you and knowing you from all these years of the
Yeah.
NBBA days.
Oh yeah.
Remember
Those
those
are good.
days?
I remember those good old days. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, those are some good old days, and a lot of guys that are in this industry don't know anything about where the bull industry started. A lot of cats
Right.
don't know that, the bucking bull started on the dummy on a feed sack, Monty Sanford and them cats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just they had a we've got to figure it out.
Right.
We've got to figure
Yeah.
out. So. Dennis, tell me a little about like the road, man. How do you deal with that? Who schedules that? Do you have someone to get your rooms? Do you have someone that sets you up where you're gonna go here, you're gonna go there? All the entering, because there's deadlines,
Right.
there's cutoff dates, and at the ABB office they don't when you enter when they close. That's it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it really starts with, like you mentioned, the fire, because first and foremost, you got to have the fire to keep going. You got to have the fire to get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to head to South Dakota.
Yeah.
Just for smooth.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, you have to have that fire.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of my own scheduling. Well, all of my own
Yeah.
scheduling.
Yeah.
And I do my, all of my, hotels. And I don't put a lot of emphasis on that as far as maybe needing like an office or someone to actually set that up, because, I rodeoed, my whole life.
Right.
And sometimes I had a hotel and sometimes I had the front seat of my truck, So
Right.
the main thing is that get the bulls there and get them home safe and sound, and kind of worry about me later. But that's kind of a small part of it.
Right.
Once the books close and I get all the entries in, and then I just kind of, have a chance to go and look and, check out some hotels. And I mean, I've been doing it enough now that I know people all over the country. If I need a layover somewhere, I'm always, there's a layover, 100 miles apart from one another. I mean,
Right.
so that's never been,
Right.
an issue.
Yeah.
And as far as like the admin part, when I'm doing my scheduling and putting the bulls on my list, I mean, I sleep good at night, but I don't sleep a whole lot. So, I mean, I usually get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and,
Right.
and take care of, that admin stuff. And
Right.
then 7:30 I come and
Right.
put my hands on the bulls.
Right. So now we come down to when you say, hey, such and such bull, this bull here, he ain't, when do you put him on the truck? When did you decide to say, look, he's here and he's getting this way and we're going to put him on the truck and I'm going to let the owners know? Or do you say, hey, man, he ain't shine today, or we could take that? How do you go about that?
Well, actually, I was doing a little bit of that while we were, back there, because videos are important.
Right.
All those bulls that we buck today,
Okay.
they actually are owned by someone. So while I was getting the videos, I was, there was a couple of bulls out there, like the little white bull that the guys were hooing and hawing about.
Yeah.
They saw his very first trip, and he was really flat. Well, the second trip, he was really bucky. So
Right.
I shot the owner a message. I said, here's your boy. He's a little better today.
Right.
So. In the way we make a decision, I always send them the video and I give them, my suggestion.
Yeah.
Because, and I do that because there's always like financial obligations involved in it. Do you want to pay an entry fee?
Right.
Or do you not want to pay,
Right.
an entry fee? Is it that time of the month this can be done, or if it can't be done?
Right.
But in my opinion, we bucked him today. I think he's good enough to go to this coming up event. the ball is in your court.
Right.
And that's basically how I decided. I mean, yes, we had fun and had some guys come over and we bucked some bull, but believe me, it was all business.
Right. It's business. Absolutely.
I was checking out every one of those bulls just to kind of see where they were.
Right.
And I try to put a trip on them at least once a month so I can continue to just kind of evaluate these bulls.
Right. So what game do you like to play the most? I know I was talking to you earlier. You said I know you played the whole rainbow. Wherever you can play, you gonna play. But where do you like to play?
Oh man, I really think I like the yearling and futurity, the dummy, probably the most, because that is the part of the game that I actually have the most control over.
Okay.
I mean, I like to take a bull that's absolutely raw, and then try to go down the road and do something with him and say win.
Right.
You know, for example, because winning is far few in between.
Right.
You know, so to take one just first time buck, messing with them, using the skills that you think you may know.
Right.
You know, and getting to know that bull, because I treat them like people.
Yeah.
They're like my children growing up and watch those bulls go on to be successful. So that's probably the most passionate that I have about it.
Yeah. So but is that where because that's kind of where the money is, huh?
Yes, those are the highest paying events. Of course, I don't get a whole lot of that money, but I always kind of manage to kind of stick my nose into the pay window. So that's probably what I like the most, because I think it's the most difficult. So I really like taking on the task, sort of like the Bull Academy. Bring them to me. I want the opportunity to try to get this bull right.
Because I guarantee you, I've been guilty of it, cutting them off too early.
Yeah.
You got to shine. You've got to produce.
Right.
You better buck today, because if you don't, then you're out.
Right.
And I've lost, and I know I'm not the only person.
Right.
There's a lot of people that has been guilty of that gave up on him too soon. You know what I mean? Some of them buck with a dummy, but that's something that, like, a lot of say, you have to have that eye.
Right.
To say, no, I see something in that bull.
Yeah.
You would see that, and then that's when you find out if you're a bull man or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? If
Right.
you say, okay, if I can nourish him up, get him here
Exactly.
and stuff. So that's kind of, talk to me a little more about the eye that you have to have when you see those calves, and you got to see that you can see some potential. And when your owner, he buys one and he says, oh, you know what? I spent this money on him, but I don't see any. I'm finna sell him.
Right.
What situation has that happened to you?
Oh, I've had a number of situations, but the probably the most successful situation was probably with the bull we call Miss Kitty's Peacemaker, 2014, $1 million buck and bull champion. Mm-hmm. That bull, early on, we saw a lot of potential in that bull, and it's really no trick or no magic, or I want to say an eye for it. But if you've been around the bulls, the bulls that have the natural kick, the bulls that have the natural intensity. Those are the bulls that they're not guaranteed to go out there and do something, but those are the ones you definitely want to keep and give them a chance.
That's
because
right.
if they so happen to do it there in the gate, they're winners. And that bull in particular, Miss Kitty's Peacemaker, he had all those tools early on, but it was about 3/4 of the way through the years before he actually started putting it together.
Yeah.
And the owners were like, hey, we're spending all this money on this bull, all these entry fees up and down the road, and he's not winning. I said, if money is the issue, I definitely understand. Let's get rid of this bull. I said, but if money's not the issue, let's give this bull a chance and say, just give him a chance. Because I do believe, and it's crazy, son, I do believe a bull's like human. They'll only try something just so many times before they decide to try something different.
Okay.
But they don't know that turning back right there in the gate is exactly what we want them to do.
Right.
All they know is that they're bucking, they're trying to get the dummy off their back. So they're going to run down the pen only so many times with this dummy on their back before they say, you know what, let me see if I have to turn back right here in the gate or something to see if that works.
Right.
And luckily enough, this bull started turning back about 3/4 of the way at the towards the end of the year and went on to win $500,000 in one trip.
Hey, did you hear what they said? 500,000. That's the difference in a bull man, because a bull man know that. That's 500,000 to you. Okay, go ahead and do this right
that's
there.
Right. So,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they finna send him to the. They finna send him to the killer.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of cats would have been like that. Like you said.
Yeah. And those are factors to consider, because sometimes the money is not there to just keep feeding this bull and to keep
Yeah.
messing with this bull.
Yeah.
But like I said, if the money is there and you're able to, it's within your means.
Yeah.
Give this bull a chance.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if you're passionate about it, if you get to the end of the rope and he still doesn't do anything, you still had fun trying. You
That's
still
right.
have fun working.
That's what it is.
with
yeah.
these bulls.
Yeah, and it's kind of like some buddies. I got buddies like, I got some buddies. They got the freaking race cars. They they got jet boats. That's what they spend their dough on.
Right.
You like that when you go out to Vegas and all the glitz and glam and all the bells and whistles and seeing that, and the bull business has really grown. And that was a thing. Man, the bull business, it's been going before me,
Right.
and it always go after whoever retires or whoever doesn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
There'll be a Dennis Davis somewhere down the road
Right.
that has that passion to continue, in the bull business, man. Dennis, what's your favorite bull, man? What's your favorite bull that you when you drop him off the truck, you like HD and go, hey, I'm finna ching on this one. They finna write me a check because he gonna be solid.
Man, I'd hate to just throw out kind of one because I like them all. Keep in mind, these bulls, they're all actually owned by somebody,
Yeah,
and
okay.
everybody wants their
All
bull
right,
to be
all
the
right.
favorite.
All right.
But there are some bulls that I know that will get out there and they will perform at a top level every time. And one is the one horn bull I have.
Yeah, yeah.
And we call him Lockdown.
Yeah.
Lockdown, he is going to buck, every single time. And I've been taking him and putting him on the short rounds of these bull teams at the PBRs. And
Yeah.
when the guys ride him, they win the round on him.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll take him to the Classic. Jess Lockwood, speaking of him,
Yeah.
he was second in the round on him.
Yeah.
And Andrew Alvarez, I took him
Yeah.
to Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
He won the round on him.
Yeah, that
so,
kid from Seminole, isn't he? Or he used to be from Seminole. Yeah.
So
Right there.
it's bulls like that I really like that'll perform, every single time.
Right. Let's go back to the big bulls. What big bull going down the road you like? And he ain't got to be on your truck. But what's the best bull you think is going down the road right now?
The best big bull going
Big
down
bull
the road right now.
Let's say classic bull.
The best classic bull. Oh man, I know HD has a couple, but I tell you what, I saw. Speaking of Brandon Stewart, I don't know that bull's name, but I saw a bull that just topped the charts this past weekend. It's a big bald-faced brindle. I mean, I can shoot my text real quick and get the name.
Yeah.
They scored that bull 94 points.
Really?
Lots of people was like, hey, I don't think that bull's 94 points. You could have just thrown the book at him.
Right.
I mean, this big sucker here, every bit of 1,800 pounds.
Really?
Dipped his nose right there in the gate, didn't hip himself, kicked over his head. I mean, and got off the ground and ripped
Superstar.
it as if he was just a 1-year-old.
Yeah,
I
superstar.
haven't seen anything
Can't
like
deny
it. So you could have marked him 94, 95, 96,
Yeah.
97, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
have batted an eye at it because
Yeah.
I thought he was that good. I really like that bull.
Well, I had to hit up Brandon to see what that bull is, man. Yeah. So is he leading the classic now?
He's not actually leading the classic because Brandon hadn't been, bucking that
Bucking.
much. I think this bull was kind of bad in the chute. Some guys had some, some hard time, trying to get out on him, and he hadn't been really getting out really clean.
Yeah.
But he got it clean out, and I like bulls like that because I consider them like the underdogs.
Yeah.
Because I like the what if.
Yeah.
I mean, it's once you get a bull dialed in, not that I just give up on him, but once you get a bull dialed in, he starts to turn and go out there and buck, and he's
Yeah.
90. Not that gets old. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's these bulls back here that you got to keep pushing on,
Yeah.
that you got to keep working
right.
on,
That's right.
that you have to have passion
That's
to
right.
fix that bull.
That's right.
And with his passion coming along real good with that bull, to see that bull have a good trip like that, that's what excites me.
Yeah,
the most.
that's that bull man.
Yeah.
That holds you in there, that makes you have that passion to know what you got to do.
Yeah.
Hey, so Stewie, he has that bull. It ain't nothing to come from Mike, huh? He ain't no Warren bull, Mike Warren bull. Huh?
He may be. I'm not real sure. Like I said, this bull just. I looked down and boom, where'd he come from?
Yeah.
Just a lot of information to take in at once. But he topped my charts immediately.
Yeah. Brandon said he's been doing it. You need him the NBA days.
Oh, yeah.
I remember him walking around eating a chili dog and a corn dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Stewie, man. They don't. But that cat right there, he's a cool cat.
Doing a really good job. Bunch of I talk to him, weekly.
Yeah.
I'm always like, hey, what yearlings you got? He sent me some videos the other day, some outstanding yearlings, and I got my eye on one, so I'll be contacting him here.
Absolutely. So let's go to the PBR. What type of bull you like? What's the best cat you think now is on somebody's truck?
Probably that. I mean that Manaba. I like Manaba.
Yeah, from Dylan.
He's
HD.
Super ranked, super tough. I really like him. Big, stout. That's who I like.
Yeah. What do you think? Why do you think HD and them always have the best calves?
Well, first of all, I don't think there's too many people out there that can outwork HD.
Okay.
I'd like to think I could. Because when I walk in the arena, I feel like I'm the best there.
Right.
But I think he shares that same kind of passion, that I have, and you have to have that passion to really put the work into that.
Yeah.
And not only just the hands-on work, but in the breeding program.
Right.
I mean, they have an outstanding breeding program and able to identify, the right cows,
Right.
the right producing cows,
Right.
the
What it
right
takes,
semen mixes.
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So when you put together, 20. Of course, there's a lot more bulls, but when you put together, 20 or 30, superstars, and mixed with your passion, you can get 10 out of there that'll do, just like HD and them
Right.
did. So you mix your passion along with the talent that's already there. That's the results.
Right. Hey, Dennis, what do you think about the judging? Because everybody, you got some to be complaining, some that do what. What's your take on it? Do you think it could be changed? Do you think it could be, altered? Because you've seen the. No. Let me go back. What do you think about the 85 slide? What do you like about that?
Well, the reason I like the 85 slide is because I've got a bunch of 85-point bulls.
There it is. That's it.
So of course, but I do like the 85 slide. Not just selfishly saying for myself, but the industry as a whole.
Absolutely.
Because there's some events that I've gone to this year where 90 points didn't even place. So that excludes hundreds, if not thousands, of people and bulls
Right.
that are just non-competitive,
Yeah, that's
that
right.
are passionate about the industry,
Right,
but
right.
just don't have
Right.
$50, $60, $70, $80,000 to sink into one of these bulls. So it kind of gives those guys a place, and some bulls like I have in my program, it gives us a place to go to continue to play the game.
Okay.
So I like the 85 slide, the 87 slide, and the limited and things like that,
Yeah.
because it gives us an opportunity to continue to play the game because it's tough out there right now.
Absolutely, because if you don't have a place, and I always argued about that, or always was like an advocate of, man, those calves. I always thought that the industry could have grown so much more if we'd had a place for the bulls that wasn't superstars.
Yeah.
Because there's so many more of those than they are the superstars.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So, and like you said, some people can't afford that. But as the industry as the whole, as like the judging system, what do you think about the judges and how do they, what their take on it? Because I know I'm going to give the judges a break here, but I'm just going to say it's kind of hard when you look at 125, 130 calves within a 3-hour span.
Right, I agree.
So, give me your take on that.
Well,
Before you answer that, Kev, do you mind? You're gonna have to scoot us. Yeah, control it. Yes. Yeah, 'cause you've been putting it further back that way.
Really?
Right there. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I think it was after the rain. You kind of.
Okay.
You're good. Sorry, sir. You can answer.
yeah, I think with the with the judging, I fall into what a lot of people or some people may dislike sometimes if a judge is off on a bull or something, and what we would consider off is if they're not a point or two with the others.
Right.
But what I do understand that the judges are human, and I do understand that mistakes happen. But for the most part, I mean, I really love the judges. I think the ABBI, and particularly the ABBI,
Yeah.
has a set of judges that they're able to put together at certain events that are all on one page.
Right,
And I
right.
think that's key. Now, when you start getting into events that's far away from a centralized location, and you may be able to fly out 2 or 3 judges that you normally use, and that you may have to grab somebody that's local. It doesn't make that any less of a guy, but he doesn't have the same eyes or not on the same level as those other guys. Then that's when you start to see some of the score fluctuation.
Fluctuate, right.
But I go to so many of these deals and I understand it, so I can't complain when it kind of hits me, because the tables have been turned when I leave and I'm heading down the road to the event, and the secretary calls me and asks me, you forgot your check. And I'm like, check? With
Check.
what bull?
Yeah.
And then you go look at the judge's score, it's like,
and you're like, what?
oh, okay.
Okay, shit.
Yeah, right. Somebody's mad, but
Yeah,
not me today.
yeah.
So I've been on both sides, of the coin with the judging. So that's why I just don't have a too
Yeah.
harsh of an opinion
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah,
Of course, I
'cause-
get upset,
yeah, yeah.
about something like that.
Yeah.
I believe there are some bulls that are kind of hard to judge. For example, the 81-21 Heart and Soul bull,
Okay.
the 3-year-old that I have.
Okay.
I really think that bull is just kind of hard to judge because he doesn't necessarily turn back right there in the gate.
Okay.
But he jumps higher than everything else out there.
Okay.
He has intensity, just through the roof. Some judges reward him for that, but then some judges just decide not to. It's like, well, he just didn't necessarily turn. They may have missed that he got this high off the ground, or missed that he had this intensity,
Yeah.
And so, and it gets disappointing sometimes. I think I, could have won the Heritage, that way, and
Right.
it was, the judging scores kind of fluctuated a little, but then
Right.
again, the following week, I won at an event that I clearly didn't think I did. So,
Right. So it could go either way.
It could go either way.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So your favorite world champ, man?
Bull,
Bull.
Bruiser, hands down.
Yeah.
And what I really like about him is basically his longevity.
Yeah.
Is just to be able to continue to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that as an investor, as a trainer, as a people who raise bulls, we want that little baby on the ground to turn out to be a world champion.
Right.
And so many times that's not so.
Right.
We'll buck him as a yearling. Some people call it burning out. I guess yes, you could burn one
Right.
out, or you can save one and he still just won't be a world champion.
Right.
But for a bull to be, Bruiser really hit it pretty
Yeah.
good when he started getting into his 3 and 4 year old,
Yeah.
and just kind of remain consistent. Bulls like Smooth Operator.
Yeah.
To see bulls like that has that trait to just continue to go on and on and on because
Right.
Brandon's bull, for example, I'm excited about that 94 bull, but a bull's only good as his last trip. He may or may never even get close to that again.
That's right. That's
But
right.
to see a bull perform at that level day in and day out, oh man, that excites me. That's why I like him.